At that, the Brahmins and heretical practitioners of other traditions and all the wandering mendicants arose from their seats and said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, who among us is young, and who among us is old?" The Blessed One said, "Again and again you have experienced the feelings of hell beings, animals, and pretas, and yet you are still not satisfied. Therefore you are all old." At that, all the Brahmins and all the Naga kings said to the Blessed One, "We no longer delight in experiencing painful feelings in cyclic existence." The heretical practitioners of other traditions, wandering mendicants, and naked ascetics said, "Nevertheless, among the young sentient beings, there are none who are able to realize emptiness directly." They said this, and the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishajasena, said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, please look at this. Why is it so difficult for sentient beings to be motivated?" The Blessed One said, "Vaishajasena, please listen. The Tathagata directly comprehends the entire world." At that, 94,000 million young beings were present before the Blessed One. They did not prostrate to the Blessed One, nor did they say a word. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishajasena, said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, these sentient beings do not speak to the Blessed One. They are utterly silent and do not prostrate either. What is the reason that they do not ask any questions of the Blessed One? What is the condition?" The Blessed One said, "Vaishajasena, listen. You should see that these sentient beings who say, the young sentient beings are not able to realize emptiness directly, are young sentient beings." And those sentient beings said, "Venerable Blessed One, we are young sentient beings. Venerable Sugata, we are young sentient beings." The Blessed One said, "These sentient beings comprehend the world directly, but now display the measure of the world from your own bodies." At that time, at that moment, the 94,000 million young beings, without leaving their bodies, hovered in the middle of space and attained the 10 grounds. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishajasena, said to the Blessed One, "Such sentient beings who make an effort to completely exhaust and completely purify cyclic existence have well achieved their achievement. Blessed One, these sentient beings were born on this very day, and, Blessed One, on this very day these sentient beings were thoroughly liberated, and they were all seen to attain the 10 grounds." At that, the Brahmins and heretical practitioners of other traditions, wandering mendicants, naked ascetics, Naga kings, and the wicked Mara and his retinue, all arrived for the purpose of deceiving, and said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, we have come here before the Tathagata, and now that we have heard this Dharmapariyaya, may we attain the sort of happiness of a Buddha. May we become just that sort of Tathagata, Arhat, perfect and complete Buddha in the world." The Blessed One said, "Just so, gentlemen. Regardless of how you have come to the Tathagata, since you have heard this Sanghata Dharmapariyaya, you have generated the mind of the unsurpassed perfect and complete enlightenment. That being so, before long, you will all be fully and completely enlightened into the unsurpassed perfect and complete enlightenment." As soon as the Blessed One had spoken these words, all those heretical practitioners of other traditions immediately attained the state of forbearance with respect to unproduced phenomena. They also all became bodhisattvas established on the 10 grounds, and thereupon all those bodhisattvas rose up into the air to a height of 7 palmyra trees, and offered to the Tathagata towering palaces made of the 7 precious substances. They also all sustained various miraculous emanations and performed acts displaying supernatural powers. Then, abiding above the crown of the head of the Blessed One, they scattered bits of flowers on the Tathagata, and they all contemplated the Tathagata too. They also perceived their own bodies as Buddhas. Many hundreds of thousands of millions of Deva sons also scattered flowers on the Tathagata and spoke these words, "The ascetic Gautama is a great gain, he is a great field, he is a protector of the world, he has reached the attainment of meditative stabilization, he is a master whose aim is to produce other masters. Through skillful means, gradually, he completely releases sentient beings such as these from cyclic existence. With even just one well-spoken phrase, he completely frees so many sentient beings from cyclic existence." At that, the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishajasena, arose from his seat, placed his upper robe over one shoulder, set his right knee on the ground, and bowed with his palms together toward the Blessed One. He said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, due to what cause and what condition do these children of the lineage issue forth these words, perform many acts displaying supernatural powers, and compose many praises of the Tathagata. The Blessed One said, "Child of the lineage, listen. They are not praising me. Rather, they are praising their own bodies, and they will establish their own bodies as a holy seat of Dharma. They will emit light rays of Dharma from their bodies. All the Buddhas will support them too, in order to awaken them fully and completely in the unsurpassed perfect and complete enlightenment. And when they have become fully and completely enlightened, they will teach the Dharma." Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishajasena, said this to the Blessed One: "The Tathagata, the Sugata, completely frees many sentient beings day and night, yet sentient beings still have not been depleted." The Blessed One said, "Vaishajasena, it is good, very good, that you have thought to question the Tathagata on this point. Vaishajasena, it is as follows. To make an analogy, there is some rich person with great wealth and property, possessing much wealth, grain, treasuries, and granaries, and having many dependents, including male servants, female servants, and laborers. In addition to a large mass of wealth, he is in possession of many fields and gardens, such as those that have barley, wheat, rice, beans, lentils, and many other grains. After that person planted the seeds of all the grain in the springtime, at another season all those seeds would ripen fully. That man would place the various types of grain separately, and having stored them there, he would eat them through to springtime, and then again he would plant. In the same way, Vaishajasena, sentient beings will also thoroughly deplete all the karma from previous actions, and then they will seek out fields of merit and produce roots of virtue. Having produced them, they will earnestly practice virtuous dharma, and having made all the dharmas increase, they will produce joy and contentment. Vaishajasena, because of that joyful and contented mind, they will not go to waste for many thousands of millions of eons. Vaishajasena, in the same way, a bodhisattva who has produced the initial thought of enlightenment will never be subject to waste. In short, they will realize all dharmas. He said, "Blessed One, what sort of dreams will be seen by bodhisattvas who have produced the initial thought of enlightenment?" The Blessed One said, "Vaishajasena, bodhisattvas who have produced the initial thought of enlightenment will see many fearful things in their dreams. If you should wonder why that is so, it is because they are purifying all their karma. Sentient beings with bad karma cannot eliminate their unbearable suffering, but the former, although seeing a bad dream, is not afraid." He said, "Blessed One, in what way will fearful things be seen in the dreams of bodhisattvas who have produced the initial thought of enlightenment?" The Blessed One said, "Vaishajasena, a fire will be seen blazing. At that, the bodhisattvas should know that all their delusions have been burnt. Secondly, Vaishajasena, although bodhisattvas who have produced the initial thought of enlightenment see water stirred up and greatly churning, they will not be afraid. If you should wonder why that is, Vaishajasena, in this way all the bondage due to ignorance is cast aside, and what is bad is purified. Thirdly, Vaishajasena, bodhisattvas who have produced the initial thought of enlightenment will see greatly fearful things in their dreams." He asked, "Blessed One, what are they?" The Blessed One said, "Although they see their heads shaven, Vaishajasena, they would not become frightened by that. If you should wonder why that is, they would think, 'My attachment, anger, and ignorance have been shaved off. I am victorious over cyclic existence with its 6 realms.' Their place is not in the hell beings' realms either. It is not among animals or pretas. It is not among the asuras. It is not among the nagas. It is not among the devas. Vaishajasena, bodhisattvas who have produced the initial thought of enlightenment attain birth in the perfectly pure Buddha fields. Vaishajasena, in the future, at a time to come, if any sentient being dedicates their mind to enlightenment, on account of that they should be seen as having great commitment. Vaishajasena, although they encounter contempt, they should not be disheartened, nor should they be discouraged. Vaishajasena, many are the dharmas I have taught. Vaishajasena, for some hundreds of thousands of myriad millions of eons, I engaged in arduous activities. But that engagement in arduous activities was not for the sake of wealth. It was not in order to enjoy a livelihood. It was not in order to enjoy power. Vaishajasena, I engaged in arduous activities in order to comprehend the nature of phenomena. But until the moment that I heard this Sanghata Dharmapariyaya, I did not attain unsurpassed perfect and complete enlightenment. But, Paishajasena, on the very day I heard it, I was entirely, completely enlightened into unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Paishajasena, this Dharmapariyaya is profound. Hearing this Dharmapariyaya is rare. Paishajasena, the arising of Tathagatas is also supremely rare. Paishajasena, those who uphold this Dharmapariyaya are also supremely rare. All those who hear this Dharmapariyaya will be fully and completely enlightened in unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Paishajasena, for 1,000 eons, they will overcome cyclic existence. They will attain the perfectly pure Buddha field. They will also thoroughly understand cessation and the path. They will be well suited to thoroughly know the source. They will be well suited to thoroughly know the place of virtue. They will be well suited to directly know and thoroughly know the place of virtue. They will be well suited to thoroughly know the place of virtue and to thoroughly know cessation. Paishajasena, why is it called cessation? He said, Blessed One, the meaning is that it is a place of dharma. The Blessed One said, Paishajasena, what is a place of dharma? He said, Blessed One, what is called dharma is the engagement in enthusiastic perseverance, the guarding of ethics, and possessing ethics. It is called a treasury of dharma. Blessed One, this is the arising of a dharma treasury. The Blessed One said, Paishajasena, that you thought to pose a question to the Tathagata on this topic is good, very good. He said, for what purpose do Tathagatas arise in the world? The Blessed One said, Paishajasena, those who are possessed of much learning and highly knowledgeable know the arising of Tathagatas. Once they know of the arising of Tathagatas, they know the arising of Tathagatas to be a source of happiness. At the time when Tathagatas arise in the world, sentient beings know all dharmas. Through skillful means, they know the dharmas. They know mundane and supramundane phenomena. They know the mundane and supramundane wisdom. He said, having realized wisdom itself, what nirvana do they seek out? The Blessed One said, Paishajasena, once they have thoroughly understood the dharma, they thoroughly know the dharma. Paishajasena, similarly, once they have thoroughly known the holy dharma in a condensed form, the first attainment arises. Keeping in mind the dharma just as they have heard it, they will attain the possession of dharma. Paishajasena, it is as follows. To make an analogy, a man became a trader, took 1,000-man load of gold, and set off seeking profit. His parents say to him, Son, listen, take this 1,000-coin load of gold. Carry well this gold of ours and of others. That trader carried away the gold, and by the time a month had passed, he had squandered all that gold. After it was gone, the man reflected and became extremely unhappy. He was pierced with great agonizing pains in his heart. He was filled with remorse and shame, and did not go to his own home. His parents heard of this and fell into despair. Their hearts were pierced with great agonizing pains, and even their clothes were torn. This bad son was born into our household in the form of a son, and also destroyed our household's entire capacity to sustain itself. He has been useless to us, and we have been made to suffer. He has forced us into work as servants. Speaking thus, they lamented. After his parents had fallen into despair, they died. Then, hearing that his parents had despaired of him and died, the son also fell into despair and died. In just the same way, Paishajasena, although the Tathagata explains these matters, those who have no faith in my teachings will lose hope, and at their time of death they will die with their hearts pierced with great agonizing pains. Just as those parents fell into despair and suffered because of the gold, and had their hearts pierced with great agonizing pains because of their own and others' gold, in the same way too, Paishajasena, those who have no faith in my teachings, afterwards, at their time of death, are tormented and cry out in lamentation. They experience painful feelings, and after they have wasted the merits they previously created, they do not later create the merit that is associated with a good field. Because they have great agonizing pains piercing their hearts, at that time, at that moment, once they have seen the ceaseless cruel places of rebirth in hell and as animals, and the realm of rebirth in the world of Yama, at their time of death they will think thus, who will be my protector so that I will not see the worlds of hell beings, animals, pretas, and Yama, and so that I will not experience those painful feelings? That one's parents will say, Child, the greatly terrifying thing, that is illness, cannot come about. How could that be? Although those who are dying fear sickness, in your case, son, there is no death. From the fear and terror of disease, you will be set free. My consciousness is seizing, my body too is badly damaged, all my limbs are in pain, I am coming to see my death. My eyes do not see and my ears do not hear, nor will anything reach my nose, my body has no endurance. My body is pain from limb to limb, just like a tree I am mindless. Saying my death is not nearing, mother, please just cheer me up. The mother said, son, it is not right that you say that. Do not frighten me so badly. Since your body is racked with a plague, you will see all sorts of things. The son said, but I see no plague in my body. I have no sickness and no pain. I see extremely unbearable death. My beloved body will be destroyed. Since I have seen my whole body overpowered by suffering, to whom will I go for refuge? Who will be my protector? The parent said, son, a deva must be punishing you, but if offerings are made to the devas after that, you will recover. The son said, whatever will make me recover, I ask you please to do just that. Please go quickly and make haste and make inquiries to the priest. At that, his parents went before the altar of the deva and gave incense for the deva. Then the priest offered the incense to the deva and said the following, the deva is punishing you. Therefore you must honor the deva. Sacrifice to the deva. Kill livestock. Kill a man too. And then your son will be released from his illness. At that, those parents thought, but we are poor. What can we do? If we don't appease the deva, our son will die. If we are to appease him, since we're poor, from where will we get a person and livestock? With these thoughts, they made haste and quickly went home. They took the few household items of any substance that they possessed to sell in order to buy livestock. After that, they approached another man. Sir, if you could give us some gold on loan and we're able to pay it back in 10 days, that would be good. But if we are unable to pay it, we agree now to become your servants and do work. They said this, and then the two of them carried off that gold and went to buy a man. The two of them bought a man, but that man did not know that he would be killed. At that, the parents became confused and did not return to their home. Instead, they went before the altar and said to the priest, quick, make the sacrificial offering. Then the two parents killed the livestock themselves, and they also killed the man. Then the priest, intending to make the sacrificial offering, kindled a fire, and at that the deva descended and said, I have accepted your son. Then the parents overflowed with joy and elation. If our son is cured, even if we become servants, that is far superior, they said. After making the sacrifice to the deva, they returned home, and when they arrived there, they saw that their son had died. At that, the two parents, suffering and in deep despair, were pierced through their hearts with great agonizing pains. With their hopes dashed, they died right there, and in just the same way, Paishajasena, one should not associate with non-virtuous friends. He said, Blessed One, may I ask where those sentient beings were born? The Blessed One said, Be quiet, Vaishajasena, do not ask me. He said, Blessed One, I ask. Sugata, I ask. The Blessed One said, On that occasion, Paishajasena, the mother was born in the great hell called the Hell of Lamentation. The father was born in the great hell called Crushing Hell. The son was born in the great hell called Hot Hell. The priest was born in the great hell of Avicii. He said, Blessed One, where was that innocent man reborn? What was his future life? The Blessed One said, Here, Paishajasena, that blameless man was reborn among the devas of the heaven of 33. He said, Blessed One, what was the reason and what was the condition for that man to be born equal in fortune to the devas of the heaven of 33? The Blessed One said, Listen, Vaishajasena, that man at his time of death, with a mind of faith in the Tathagata, said one time, I prostrate to the Buddha. Vaishajasena, due to that root of virtue, he will experience the happiness of the devas of the 33 for 60 eons. For 80 eons he will recall past lives. Life after life he will be free of all painful sorrows. As soon as he is born, he will ward off all sufferings. Those sentient beings are all unable to fully overcome sorrow. Said, Blessed One, how will all sentient beings be capable of fully overcoming sorrow? The Blessed One said, Paishajasena, they must exert effort. He said, Blessed One, which exertion of effort? The Blessed One said, Paishajasena, listen. What is called effort is a demonstration of results. It is as follows. What is called the result of stream entry is a place of effort. What is called the result of once returning is a place of effort. What is called the result of non-returning is a place of effort. What is called the result of arhatship and the cessation that is the result of an arhat is a place of effort. What is called the result of a Pratyeka Buddha and the knowledge of the result of a Pratyeka Buddha is a place of effort. What is called the result of a Bodhisattva and the place of enlightenment is a place of effort. Paishajasena, these are what are called places of effort. He said, Blessed One, how are a stream enterer and the result of stream entry to be shown? The Blessed One said, it is as follows. To make an analogy, one man planted a tree, and on that very day the tree took root, and on that very same day those roots went down a yojana. Another man too planted a tree in the same way, but on that very day it was shaken by the wind, and that tree did not take root. Then this man removed the tree from that place, and also the other man said, Why did you dig up my earth? And they quarreled and disputed. After that, at that time the king heard that those two men were quarreling and disputing, and he sent a messenger saying, Go and bring those two men. As you command, your majesty, he said, and raced off in great haste. He said to the two men, The king summons you. At that, one of the men became frightened and apprehensive, but the other man, without fear or apprehension, was led to where the king was. After they had been led there, they were seated in the presence of the king. Then the king said to the two men, Sirs, why were you quarreling and disputing? At that, the two men arose and addressed the king. Great king, please lend us your ear. Since we do not own any land at all, a tree was planted on a plot of borrowed land. After that, because it was shaken by the wind, it did not put down roots, and neither leaves, nor flowers, nor fruit appeared. Great king, its roots did not go down a yojana. And this man fought and disputed with me, saying, It's your fault. Nevertheless, since I am innocent, your majesty, please kindly understand that I am not even slightly guilty. Then that king sent for his 30 million ministers, and when they had assembled, he commanded, You should speak. The ministers said, What should we speak about? Have you ever seen or heard that on the very day a tree was planted, it put down roots, and leaves, flowers, and fruit appeared? In a week or half a month, make a determination of this case. At that, those ministers arose from their seats and addressed the king. Great king, it is not appropriate for us to make a determination in this case. We are incapable of determining it. Great king, this is wondrous. For now, this man himself should be spoken to. Sir, is what was said true? Speak. He said, Great king, indeed, it is true. The king said, On the very day a tree was planted, roots went down, and leaves, flowers, and fruit appeared. On that very day, you say, these words of yours are hard to believe. No such thing has been seen or heard. At that, the man placed palms together and spoke these words before the king. Kindly go and plant a tree yourself. Please watch as the roots take hold. Then the king and the 30 million ministers went out together, and the two men were placed in prison. Then the king himself planted a tree, and that tree neither took root, nor did leaves, flowers, or fruit appear. So the king became enraged and said, You, go quickly, come back with axes for felling trees. They were fetched, and enraged at the tree planted by that man, he cut the leaves, flowers, and fruit that had arisen on that tree. As soon as he cut that single tree, 12 trees appeared. He cut the 12 trees, and there appeared 24 trees made of the 7 precious substances, together with roots, leaves, and shoots. Then from those 24 trees there appeared 24 birds with golden crests and golden beaks and feathers made of the 7 precious substances. At that the king was overcome with rage, and taking the axe in his own hand, chopped at a tree. From the tree that he had chopped, nectar appeared. The king was troubled by that and issued instructions. Go and remove those 2 men from prison. As you command, your majesty. He raced off that very instant. The 2 men were removed from the prison and led to where the trees were. The king said, Did you plant the tree that multiplied when it was cut and became 24? The tree I planted did not grow roots or leaves or flowers or fruit. Then that man said, "Great king, you are not endowed with the sort of merit I have." At that, the 30 million ministers knelt, placing both knees on the ground, and said to the man, "This previous king is not fit, therefore you should be king." Then that man addressed the ministers in verse, "A king's enjoyment is of no use to me, nor have I need of wealth or grain. Since in the Buddhas I have faith, among humans may I become supreme. May I go where the Tathagata is, to the sphere of nirvana, which is peace. The Dharma that leads home to nirvana, that should be explained to you." Seating himself cross-legged, he then made this avowal, "Due to actions I did in the past, I came to be in the king's jail. But by uttering this prayer, may my karma be depleted." At that, 24 million birds with diamond beaks struck cymbals. Then at that time, at that moment, 32,000 towering palaces appeared. Each of the towering palaces measured 25 yojanas, and from each towering palace there emerged 25 million birds, with golden crests and golden beaks and golden faces. They uttered human speech. "When you, O king, cut that tree, the deed that you did was not good. In place of 100 million trees, there came to be just 24. You did not know what sort of being is the one who planted this tree. Due to this wicked act, you will later undergo unpleasant results." The king said, "I do not know the meaning of this, thus, great ascetic, please explain." The bird said, "It is he who illuminates the world and will become its guide. From the prison that is samsara, he liberates all beings." The king said, "The person whose tree did not grow, that second person, who was he? What wicked action did he do? Twice-born birds, let it be told." The bird said, "The person whose tree did not grow, that was the foolish Devadatta. Not having done even slight virtues, how is a person's tree to grow?" Then at that time, at that moment, after the 30 million ministers heard this Dharmapariyaya, they were all established on the 10 grounds. They each gained clairvoyance. The king, too, was established on the 10 grounds and attained a clear realization of virtuous Dharma. Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishajasena, said to the Blessed One, "Blessed One, due to what cause and what condition have the 33 million ministers come to abide on the 10 grounds and gain clairvoyance?" The Blessed One said, "Vaishajasena, listen and I will explain." And then, at that time, the Blessed One displayed a smile. After that, at that time, from the face of the Blessed One there shone forth rays of light of many varied colors, 84,000 rays of hundreds of thousands of colors, such as blue, yellow, red, white, crimson, crystal, and silver light rays. They came forth and lit up limitless, boundless world systems. When they returned, they circumambulated the Blessed One 3 times and disappeared into the crown of the head of the Blessed One. At that, the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishajasena, arose, placed his upper robe over one shoulder, set his right knee on the ground, bowed with his palms together toward the Blessed One, and said the following to the Blessed One. "Blessed One, since Tathagatas, Arhats, perfect and complete Buddhas do not smile without cause and without conditions, what is the cause of the smile and what are the conditions?" The Blessed One said, "Vaishajasena, do you see groups of beings from all the world systems of the 4 directions coming toward me?" He said, "Blessed One, I do not see them." The Blessed One said, "Vaishajasena, in that case examine carefully and look at the groups of beings." Then the Bodhisattva, the great being Vaishajasena, looked all about, and he saw that to the east there appeared a tree measuring some 7,000 yojanas. 25,000 million groups of people were assembled on one side of it. The people did not speak, they did not talk, they did not converse, they did not eat, they did not arise, they did not move about, they sat in silence. To the south there appeared a tree measuring some 7,000 yojanas. 25,000 million groups of people were assembled by it. These people did not talk and did not speak either. They did not speak at all, they did not converse at all, they did not arise, they did not move about, they sat in silence. To the west there appeared a tree measuring some 7,000 yojanas. 25,000 million groups of people were assembled by it. These people did not talk either, they did not speak at all, they did not converse at all, they did not arise, they did not move about, they sat in silence.